Good morning. Um, One thing I want to point out for this presentation is I'm a substitute speaker. I apologize. Heidi Kratch, who was supposed to be the presenter on this, was unfortunate to come, and so I'm stepping up as best I can. Now, this is about urban programs, and I think one important thing that we're noticing in this talk is this is an area Extension has not been good in engaging at this point. Our family consumer science programs, I believe health issues were brought up. And so, one thing that Mark might bring back to WIDA is how can we do better making those moves in that direction? And so I'm going to talk a little bit about my programs and try to tie back some of the things that we discussed yesterday afternoon. That we got a good conversation started. I don't know if we're moving directly away from that, but I think we had some good things going that, and I'll kind of bring that back up. So, here's my title: Tales from the Front Lines, Incorporating Climate Education into Extension Master's Programs. So I just want to start a little bit about in the beginning here. We got started in 2003. There was a collaboration between the UA Institute for the Study of Planet Earth, now called the Institute for the Environment, and the Climate Assessment of the Southwest and Cooperative Extension was initiated. And we started what we called this Climate Vegetation Change Think Tank, or working group, as Mike called it. And at that time, Kathy Jacobs was a member of that group when we got started, and Greg Garfin and some of the other people. So we've been kicking this around for quite a while at the University of Arizona. Now, Extension Master Programs, and I hope I don't have to explain too much about them, is an area that I've had a lot of experience as an extension agent, teaching master gardeners, master watershed stewards. I don't have a climate masters program, but there's energy masters started up. I like the sustainability ideas, and particularly these master gardeners are all low-hanging fruit. We already got people who love us, right? And so incorporating climate into those discussions with this group is a way that we can really expand. So here's a couple of the programs that I do in the flyers. I'm going to talk a little bit about this Bullion Plaza landscape restoration project, and I like this. If you drink water or take a bath, you should be a watershed steward. And so here's how I do this. I've got Mike Crimmins, God bless him. He comes and gives a presentation on Arizona climate for everything I teach, and he's always made an effort to be available to do so. I hope all my other colleagues in Arizona take advantage of that. And I'm just going to fly through a few things that we don't learn in school. So, a 3-hour class to teach this type of stuff does take some time, and it is new to people. So when we start talking about climate issues, they've heard what's on the news and really don't have a baseline to build from. And then you got to take it home from world right back to your state and the county that you live in. Okay, another nice relationship I've been able to create is with Water Resources and Research, Water Resources and Research Center in Arizona. Kelly Mott-LaCroix was able to get a grant, and I've got the relationship. They're coming in, and we're doing some education on water issues in my state and in my county. And so I just want to bring up Kelly because I'm going to come back to her very shortly. So when we're doing this work, cool things happen, Here's Kelly and I getting a grant from our, that's our county supervisor, money from our mines that are important in our community. Given our seminars, this here is just a little water harvesting demonstration project. And so the community I'm in actually has great opportunities for water harvesting. And if we can get people to be using water we can harvest off our roofs for our landscape irrigation, that's water we're not pulling out of the ground. And so part of this program that we did there was this rainwater harvesting demonstration where we put in 2 800-gallon tanks. This is not going to get mosquitoes in it, not going to get dirt in it, very, very well designed. And it's a large enough area, then about half an inch of rain, we fill that tank up. And that water goes out and irrigates what we just landscaped there, and then that's a little supplemental water out there for the fresh plants we just put, to try to recreate the landscape that's at this historical building we use. So cool things happen. But we also have some challenges. And so this is where I wanted to get to a little story. And I put a picture of the church I attend here, our Holy Angels Parish. And, you know, some of us are Catholics, and we're big fans of Pope Francis and Laudato Si and that type of thing. So Kelly and I are doing a conference, or no, you know, just a community meeting talking about water issues in the community. And we got the one slide, you know, that climate change is one of the issues driving what's going on. And two people I go to church with, one, actually the mayor of the town, an ex-extension agent, you know, and the other who is involved with a water sanitation district that we're trying to put in, this poor part of the community that is basically broken cesspools and broken septic tank systems that needs a water sanitation situation going in because there just isn't any opportunity to do it on your own. We need a sewer system through this anyway. So here are people who we're real close to, doing good things in the community. It's like, you know, all that climate change stuff, that's a hoax. That's a bunch of hooey. And so well-connected people and allies, right? And so we're just saying, yeah, it's really part of it. And so, and this isn't the only time this happens, but this is one that really sticks out in my mind. And we know from the studies that when we're in an audience, about 85% have their ears open of what's going on and want to hear this message and ready to move forward on it. And I just don't want that person with the obligation to say that's a hoax to you to just shut down what you're trying to get done. So some of this discussion that we're having here is so important to help all of us move forward. And so I just wanted to add that as a little story and kind of harken back to what we were doing yesterday, but I think that's a great conversation we got started. So I'm going to move this on to ways that we report this stuff. And so there's a program called Results-Based Accountability. And I think the way we report is if we're able to simply come up with a good way to be able to show what we do. So, you know, we have our efforts, how much we do and how well we do it. But, you know, the main thing is that effect. And we want to be able to show, is anybody better off? And when we're able to do this in a simple way that our legislators and our decision makers can understand, it works very nicely. And so I think the ways that we're able to look at this, I've got the fun slide in here. I've got a slide that's not in here. And these are kind of program areas that we're hitting on: drought mitigation, water conservation, and so tying in good indicators that we discuss in this manner are ways we're able to share our work with others. So that's my talk, and we can move on.